Am I broken? That is the question you ask yourself at night when everything goes quiet and there is nothing left to distract you from yourself. Not out loud. Never out loud. Just that quiet loop before you close your eyes. Then the morning comes. You woke up this morning after 7 hours of sleep, and you are already tired. Not the kind of tired that fixes itself after coffee. The kind that has been sitting somewhere behind your eyes for months now, maybe longer. And this is where everything stops making sense. You are doing everything right. You show up, you perform, you tick the boxes, you smile at the right moments and say the right things to the right people. But inside, somewhere underneath all of that, nothing. And that's exactly why so many people conclude they're depressed. Maybe they're right, but maybe they're asking the wrong question. And understanding it changed the way I see almost everything. When people feel this way, and more people feel this way than will ever admit it, most of them do the same thing. They Google it. They find a list: persistent low mood, loss of interest in things that used to matter, fatigue that sleep does not fix, emotional flatness, the feeling of watching your own life from somewhere slightly outside of it. And they read that list and they think, yes, that is exactly me. So they draw a conclusion. I am depressed. And maybe they are. I want to be careful here because clinical depression is real and it is serious. And if you have been feeling this way for a long time, the most important thing you can do is talk to someone actually qualified to help you. Not a YouTube video, a real person. But here's what I did not know when I found that list. There is another condition that produces almost identical symptoms. And it is not a diagnosis. It is what happens when a brain is asked to carry more than any brain was ever built to carry for long enough that it quietly stops pretending it can keep up. Your brain runs on a daily energy budget. We have talked about decision fatigue on this channel before, but here's the thing most people miss. Decision fatigue does not only affect the decisions you make, it affects the emotions you are able to feel. When your brain runs out of budget, and it runs out faster than you think, it starts shutting down what it has classified as non-essential. And somewhere in your brain's operating logic, emotions are non-essential. Not because something is wrong with you, because your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is keeping you alive and functional. It is just doing it at the cost of everything that makes being alive feel worth something. Think of a phone running 50 apps at the same time. Everything technically still works, but the camera takes 3 seconds to open. Messages come through late. The battery is half gone by noon. Nothing is broken, but nothing is working the way it should either. That is what years of constant decisions, constant notifications, constant context switching, and constant emotional output with zero genuine recovery does to a human brain. Emotions do not disappear because something snapped. They disappear because there is no energy left to run them. There is a name for this: cognitive overload. And the reason the distinction matters, the reason it matters enormously, is this. Depression is a broken system that needs clinical repair. Cognitive overload is a working system running past its limit. One requires medical support, the other requires a redesign. And spending years treating a capacity problem like a chemistry problem is one of the most quietly devastating mistakes a person can make. Here's how I started to figure out which one I was actually dealing with. Think about the last time you had a genuinely empty day. Nothing required, nothing due, no screen urgently demanding your attention, just actual space. How did you feel by the end of it? If something came back, even something small, a moment of real interest in something, a laugh that came from somewhere genuine, a feeling in your chest that you had not noticed was missing until it returned. That is your brain restoring itself. That is not depression. That is a system that was running on empty finally getting some oxygen. If the emptiness stayed, if rest made no difference at all, that is when you need to speak to someone. Both are real. Both deserve attention, but they need completely different responses. For the people in the first group, the ones whose emptiness lifts even slightly when the noise stops, here is what the redesign looks like. Not a dramatic overhaul, not a new morning routine you will abandon in a week. 3 things. 1, decide tonight what tomorrow looks like before tomorrow gets here. Same breakfast. Clothes laid out, first task already written down. Every decision you remove from your morning is energy that is still available to you by afternoon. 2, build recovery that actually recovers you, not scrolling. Not another podcast while you lie in bed. 10 minutes of genuinely nothing. A walk with no destination and nothing in your ears. Sitting somewhere quiet long enough for your brain to stop processing and start restoring. Your brain cannot repair itself while it is still consuming. Recovery requires actual silence. 3. Once a week, just once, ask yourself where you spent energy this week and got nothing back. One honest answer, one small adjustment, not a transformation, just a 1-degree shift in a slightly better direction. Do that for 3 weeks. Something will shift. It will not feel dramatic. It will feel like a Tuesday morning when you look out of a window at nothing in particular and realize you feel genuinely curious about something for the first time in longer than you can remember. And you will notice that feeling because it has been missing. And its absence was not who you are. It was just what happens to a system that never got to rest. You might be depressed. I am not qualified to tell you, and I'm not trying to. But before you decide that something is fundamentally wrong with you, ask yourself honestly when the last time was that you gave your brain genuine space to breathe. Because you might not be broken at all. You might just be someone who has been running on empty for so long that empty started to feel like your personality. And it is not. I promise you it is not. SpideyGot RM, remade, subscribe. Because next week we are going through the specific parts of your day where your cognitive budget is draining the fastest. And most of them are going to surprise you.